Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Easy Paradox coming back with just a little bit of everything. We're coming back with another Week 5 review of this top 25 schedule. I know I got the Iowa hat on; they're not in the top 25 anymore, but we will still go over their game at the very end, just if you guys really want to know what I think about that game. But we will be going over all the top 25 games. We get another big week, got another rank-on-rank matchup. We have ourselves Utah and Oregon State. This is going to be a very big game to really show if Oregon State really is supposed to be ranked or if they just had a really good first couple games. I know they had a really close one against Washington State, but Washington State really hasn't proved themselves either. They played Wisconsin, but Wisconsin's not very good. I know some people are talking Wisconsin's on the come up, but I'm not seeing it. Wisconsin just isn't it. So them playing each other is just two unknown teams playing each other as ranked opponents. But they was really close. It was a really nice game. It was really fun. Oregon State came back, rallied, and tried to take that game away. Utah is another one of those teams where I just don't see it. They're another one of those Pac-12 teams that I just don't see them being a top 10, maybe top 25 team, but right now they're 4-0. So this could be a very big game on Friday night. The over under is 44. I would take that there. These are two very high scoring programs. I'm not sure because the Oregon State they scored 30 some points. Washington State 30. Utah has been scoring a lot of points. The minus 3.5. I would take the over on that. I would definitely take this. I think it's going to be a 7-point game, at least 7 points, maybe 10. And I think I have Oregon State taking it, but I will understand that Utah is probably the better team than Oregon State, more experienced. They have a better quarterback, better defense. I know Oregon State got that transfer quarterback, but I think Utah might have their quarterback back this week, and he is just a significant powerhouse when in comparison to Oregon State's team. On to the next on Saturday, 9 a.m. We have right here at the right in BTN. We have Penn State Northwestern. Northwestern has not been good in a long time, and when they were good, it was just because every other team was bad. Northwestern still isn't good. They never have been, and they really need a new revamp on their whole program. So the over under is a 46 on this game, and I still think that Penn State could cover this, even though Northwestern is abysmal. I think they can definitely cover the 27 spread. I don't think Northwestern's going to put up a big fight, but it is at home in Evanston, Illinois. So the Northwestern is like the Purdue of the Big Ten. They're known for upsets. So I would not be surprised if they don't cover this over-under, and I would be surprised if they even cover this 27. So my prediction for this game is Penn State will have 27 points, Northwestern will be like 10, maybe 13. It'll be really close till halftime, and then Penn State will take it away. The next 9 a.m. game, big noon on Fox, is going to be the big Sanders primetime game. USC, undefeated, top 10, number 8 in the nation. The over-under is very high, 73 points. I just don't see it. Oregon scored no, not Oregon. The over-under for this game is 73 points. I'm just not seeing Colorado and USC scoring that many points. I would definitely take the under on this, especially after Colorado's showing last week against Oregon. They scored 6 points. 6 points. And that wasn't a late. They were down 0. I was expecting a shutout. I would not take this USC money line just because it is at home in Colorado, and I think it's going to be a really close game. I don't even think it's going to be high scoring. I think they're going to keep it short. I think they're going to keep it low. I think it's going to be like 23, 20, 20, 23, 21, 24. I think Colorado's going to win. I think the Colorado's going to lose, but they're going to lose by a field goal, maybe a touchdown. USC's going to have like 30. Colorado's going to have like 21, 24 points. It's going to be a very tight one. And just because of the atmosphere in Colorado is huge, it's sold out. It's gonna be a big game. It's a big noon again. It's gonna be awesome. The next game is gonna be another undefeated Kentucky, and Kentucky, Florida. I don't know. Kentucky is one of those teams where they steal wins, but I just don't see them really going past. I don't think they see them going past X3 this year, and I think that their loss is going to come this week against Florida. I know Kentucky has the -1, but I think Florida is going to win by at least 7 points. That I would cover this. I would cover this over. I think there's going to be a very high scoring game. I think they're going to get up to 30 points each, close. But I still have Florida coming out with at least a field goal. So this -1 is just a pick'em game. I would definitely pick Florida over this, not because they're ranked, just because Kentucky isn't very good. And I know they're 4-0, 1-0 in the SEC, but they just haven't played anybody. The teams they played are just not good. Florida has played some quality opponents, so I do think that they can take this week. Next game is 12:30 on CBS. It's gonna be Georgia Auburn. It's gonna be in Auburn, Alabama this time, and the over under is 46-5. I would definitely take this. Georgia's a very high scoring, very powerful team. I know for the last couple weeks I've been talking about Georgia not very good. They really aren't. They're good, but they're not number one good. I don't think they're going to be number one for very long. I think they're going to lose at least 2 games this year, and I think they're going to go to a nice, pretty bowl game, but not the national title. And I would definitely take this minus 14. I think Auburn isn't very good, and I don't think they're going to really put up that big of a competition against Georgia. Georgia has a really good defense, a really high-scoring offense, and Auburn isn't very good at all. And they're still in that rebuild, trying to get where they need to go. And I think Georgia's going to win this by 21. On to another 12:30, and Fox is going to be Michigan, Nebraska. Nebraska is one of those sleeper teams, kind of like Northwestern and Purdue, but definitely a better program overall, better atmosphere. It's going to be in Lincoln. It's probably going to be really, really big. I know the tickets are really low, but I still think that it's going to be a huge atmosphere. There's going to be tons of people. Big Ten football is always exciting to watch, and I think Michigan's been really going slow lately, coming out the gates. They lost one early to Rutgers, and I was like, oh no, is Michigan going to lose this game? But then Michigan came back and really, really just hammered the nail in the coffin there. But I still think Nebraska's going to keep it close. I think it's going to be a 1.5 score game, so probably like 10 points. I would definitely take this over on the 38. I think Michigan is going to score at least 30, and then Nebraska is going to score like 20 points. I think they're going to be at least 40 points in this game, so I'll definitely take the over on this one. This one's a really easy one for me. I don't think it's going to be very low scoring. And even if Nebraska doesn't score 20, Michigan is definitely going to score 40 by themselves, at least 30 by themselves, and all that Nebraska has to do is score at least once. And then the 12:30 ABC matchup is another Big 12 ranked play. This is Kansas time to shine. I know every week I pick a couple sleeper teams, and I think this is Kansas' year. I think Kansas is going to win this game in Texas. They're going to move up to the top 10 because Texas isn't very good. The one big win they have is Alabama, and Alabama has been struggling with the quarterback situation. They almost lost to South Florida. They almost lost last week. It's not looking good for Alabama. So their one good win has definitely been tanking, and I think Kansas is going to come into Austin with the chip on their shoulder and win this game as underdogs. And I think this over under is crazy. 62 points. I do not think they're going to get up to 62 points in this game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring dogfight, probably like 10-14. It's going to be a very uneventful game when it comes to scoring points, but I still think Kansas is going to take it. Kansas might get up to 20, but I got Kansas winning this overtime. I got Kansas winning this right handfully with no problems whatsoever. But real talk, Texas might win like by 4 scores. But Kansas will win this, I do believe. The next ranked game is Missouri. I don't know how the heck they are ranked, and Kentucky is not. Missouri is not good. They are an abysmal team, but when they play abysmal opponents, this is what happens. You get ranked 23, just like my team Iowa here. They're not going to cover this spread. They're going to be a low-scoring game. Vanderbilt's not going to score very many points, so that's why they're not going to cover it. Missouri definitely is going to win by 14 at least, maybe 21. Vanderbilt's not going to score very many points. Vanderbilt is definitely, I don't know how they're still I don't know how they even compete in the SEC. It's almost like they're not even trying. It's definitely not going to be a competitive game. And then moving on to 3 o'clock game on ESPN, we got Ole Miss LSU. Ole Miss LSU. This is going to be a big game. This is going to be a big game for LSU because I know their only loss is to Florida State, and I don't think LSU is very good. And I think Ole Miss is going to steal a win for them, and this could be another SEC dogfight. They're definitely going to cover the spread. It's going to be very high scoring. Could potentially go to overtime. Ole Miss is going to sneak away a win in here. And yeah, I definitely believe it's going to be a 1-score game. I think you should take this. I think it's going to win by a field goal. It's going to be super close. They're going to be a tie game, probably about to go to OT, and then they just make it or go to OT, and they're going to win by 2. They're going to win at least by 3 points. I don't think they're going to overtime. The 3:30 game is going to be another slow slog. It's going to be Oregon versus Stanford. Stanford's not very good at all. It's definitely one of those teams that you should definitely look out for in the future because they're going to the ACC next year or the year after, and I think they're going to try to change their program around, but not when they're playing Oregon and Washington like every other week. So Oregon's going to win this. It's going to be super easy. They're going to score like 30 points over them. It's gonna be easy. I don't think they're gonna get I would definitely take the under on this. I don't think Stanford's gonna score very many points. I don't think it's gonna be a very competitive game. Oregon's gonna go in there, handle business. They're gonna have their backups in the fourth quarter. It's definitely not gonna get up to 61 points though. The next 4 o'clock game is gonna be Iowa State versus Oklahoma. And with this being said, I don't know if Iowa State can do this. Iowa State's coach is not very good. Their team isn't very good. They haven't been good for a long time. And even when they had good players, they still just didn't utilize them to the fullest capacity of what they needed to do. So I think Oklahoma is going to just trounce Iowa State. Like it's going to be a blowout game. It's definitely not going to be fun to watch. Iowa State's going to get dogged. There's not going to be close. They're going to cover this over under over minus 20. And then the 48, I don't know. I don't think they're going to make it to 48. But if Iowa State scores a little bit, I would definitely take the under on this and not the over, just because I don't think Iowa State's going to score very many points. And then Oklahoma is not going to run up the score on them just out of respect for their conference play. Next, next big game, Notre Dame. Notre Dame just lost a big tight one to Ohio State. And they had 10 men on the field. We could talk about that. The 10 men on the field at the very end of the game really cost them for that run play. But I don't think Duke is very good. I think they're overhyped. And I already picked Kansas to beat Texas. I can't pick Duke to beat Notre Dame. So I have Notre Dame beating Duke single-handedly, handily beating them without any problem. I think Duke's going to lose by 20 points. Notre Dame's going to go in there, handle business. No offense to Duke. They are a good program. They are on the up and up. But I just don't think they're ready to play against these really good opponents. And their 4-0 status is not a fluke, but it's definitely not something to be wowed about. So I definitely think Notre Dame's going to cover this. And over-under, I don't think it's going to reach 52. What is that? That's like 26 points each. Yeah, I don't see it happening. I don't think I see Duke scoring less than 10, Notre Dame scoring like 30. So that's still under 52. So I definitely have that. It's definitely going to be Notre Dame's going to be at like 28, 35 points. Duke's going to have like 7, maybe 10 points. Maybe late in the game they're going to score a field goal, try to come rally back in it. Another 4:30 game is going to be South Carolina, Tennessee. Tennessee I don't think is very good, but South Carolina is even worse. I do have Tennessee winning this game, winning by 2 scores, just like this. This is 2.5. This is like 1.5 scores, but I have them winning at least by 14. The over/under, I think it might be a high-scoring game just because they have really explosive offenses. So I would take the over on the 63 line just because Tennessee is a very good powerhouse, and South Carolina is also it's not really good at offense, but Tennessee's defense isn't very good. But Tennessee will outplay South Carolina throughout the entire game, so they'll definitely win by 14 points. The 6:30 game is another slow game. It's gonna be a slog. Alabama is playing Mississippi State. If Alabama has been playing the way they've been playing lately, I don't think they're going to score very many points, and I don't think Mississippi State's going to score very many points either. Mississippi State could possibly steal a win, but Alabama has been trying to figure themselves out. Alabama's definitely not winning by 14 and a half. I think Alabama's going to win by a field goal or touchdown. It's going to be very low scoring, maybe less than 20 points. So I would definitely take the under. I definitely wouldn't take the over on this just because Alabama's not covering this line. It's gonna be a 7-10 point. It's gonna be a 3 to 10 point game, and Alabama's gonna barely scrape a win. I would like Mississippi State to win just so we can stop talking about Alabama and like how they're still winning games, but we'll see. See there at 6 p.m. my time, which is West Coast time. The 10 o'clock, the late night pick, Washington and Fresno State. These games are going to be super boring. I wouldn't even turn them on. Washington State's going to trounce Arizona. It's going to be a bloodbath over there in U of A. I think Washington's going to score like 40 points on them. Arizona might score a little bit. I wouldn't take this money line just because Arizona I don't think is going to score very many points. Washington's definitely going to cover this. It's going to be a walk in the park. Washington, I think Washington is a top four team, and I think number 7 is definitely disrespectful to their program and what they've been doing this year and like how good they are. I think USC is worse than them, and I think they're better than Oregon as well. The next this Mountain West, the Group of 5 game down at the bottom here in top 25, Fresno State. They're 4-0. They beat some Power 5 teams. Not very good ones. They shut out Arizona State, but Arizona State's not very good. Nevada's 0-4. This is an easy win for Fresno. If Fresno wants to stay ranked, they have to cover these. They're going to have to score 40, 50 points. If they want to be in the discussion, they have to blow out teams. So they have to blow this team out. They have to cover this by themselves. They need to score 50 points on Nevada if they want to cover this by themselves. They're definitely going to cover this because Nevada's not very good. I think Fresno State needs to run up the score. They need to show the committee that they're better than the Mountain West and that this is their year. Just like Cincinnati. Cincinnati, when they were number 4, I know they beat Notre Dame, but they still blew out their conference. Every conference game was blowout. There was like a handful, maybe a couple that weren't, but most of them were by 40, 50 points to say I'm better. They're better than the I forgot which conference they were in. I think they were in the American. Next game on the chopping block is Michigan State. I always talk about them. This is going to be on NBC Peacock. No one's going to watch on Peacock. That's just a waste of time. It's going to be in Iowa City. It's going to be a big game for Iowa. It's going to show them this is a time for them to practice their offense because their offense is dog water. I think if they can score 30 points for their offense today on Saturday and cover this line, I think they can potentially be back in the discussion on top 25, but they have to win confidently. They cannot make this a close game. They can't make it a dogfight. Blow out Michigan State. Show the committee, the AP pollers, that they are ready to be back in the discussion because right now they're sitting at the worst offense, one of the worst offenses in Power 5, as well as they have a good defense, but the defense isn't as good as last year. We keep talking about their defense like it was as good as last year, but they have less interceptions. They've given up more points. They are struggling. They cannot be on the field for very long like last year's team. I know there's a lot of seniors and juniors on the team, but they're people too. They can't be on the field for 45 minutes like they were against Penn State. So they have to confidently beat this team with ease. There can't be any discussion. That's going to be it for this video. If you want more content like this, please like and comment below what you think about this week. If you want more discussions on college sports, please let me know in the comments. If you want something else or some other content, please let me know as well. I am doing a little bit of everything. I like talking about sports. I like talking about video games and movies, so don't be afraid to let me know.